Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hashtag Sports and welcome to Week 17, the second to last week of the NFL season. Hasn't been too many years. We've been saying that, but that's right now, 18 weeks in the NFL season. So Week 17 is just a little appetizer as to what you'll see the final week of the season when all of these playoff spots finally get figured out. Playoff picture beginning to come into display a little bit, right? We know some teams have clinched, including our Buffalo Bills winning the AFC East for the third consecutive season after their win last week against the Chicago Bears. Let's see if they can keep that number one seed. Big matchup this week, Monday night, against the Cincinnati Bengals. Who's going to win that one? I'm going to tell you that, and I'm going to tell you all of my winners this week, both straight up and against the spread. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, welcome to Hashtag Sports. My name is Joe. If you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button. I've been keeping you up to date all week long on my picks, all season long, I should say, on my picks and all my picks against the spread. Doing pretty good. Doing better than some of your analysts have been so far this season. Straight up, I am 149-91 after a 12-4 week last week. And then against the spread, I went 9-7 last week. Not as good, but 131, 106, and 3 overall for this season. Still up on the year. Love to see that. Want to see me get up a little bit more. That 5-11 week in week 15 really killed us, but let's see if we can continue to improve. We went 9-7 last week. Now let's go for some double digits, right? Double digits both straight up and double digits against the spread. Before I get into this any further, I do want to give a quick shout out. You can see it right down here below. Hashtag Sports, sponsored by Mr. Rogers Homes in association with DeanBlendell.com. Make sure you check that out in the description below. And also the Hashtag Sports 2022 charity is the Williams Syndrome Foundation. Again, all super chats, all proceeds that Hashtag Sports brings in during the regular season go to that Williams Syndrome Foundation. So we appreciate all that you have done. We had that charity golf tournament at the beginning of the season as well. Always a fun time. Look forward to continue this season, continue donating to a wonderful cause, and look forward to many seasons to come where Hashtag Sports can continue to do this because of your support. So we really do appreciate it. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, like this video just to get the word out there that, hey, these guys are doing something a little fun. And don't forget to join me Monday night football as our Buffalo Bills play the Cincinnati Bengals, giving you live play-by-play and reaction. Again, hoping to keep that number one seed. But week 17 starts Thursday night. So tonight, because I'll probably post this on Thursday morning. So tonight, as the Dallas Cowboys are on the road to play the Tennessee Titans losing control of the AFC South. A few weeks ago, we thought there was no way that they would lose grips on the AFC South. Well, it's come to fruition because right now the Jacksonville Jaguars are the team in the AFC South that control their own destiny. Right now, they are winning the AFC South. They go 2-0 these next 2 weeks. They will make the playoffs as the AFC South champions, something that hasn't happened, I believe, since 2018, 2015, something like that. I don't know. But everyone thought the Tennessee Titans would continue on the roll, Derrick Henry, but that obviously has not happened. Can they, at home against the Dallas Cowboys, get that victory, right? They need to get some wins in order to stay alive in the AFC South. However, the Cowboys, after a win against the Eagles last week, they're on a little bit of a roll. They're feeling good about themselves. But 12.5 points is a lot. You know how I feel about Thursday night games, right? Thursday nights are just weird weeks, right? They're weird games because it's just been a short week for the players. They haven't had time to adjust, get ready, whatever the case might be. In this case, the Cowboys traveling to Tennessee. I've been meaning to do a percentage of how many home teams win on Thursday night since Thursday night became a weekly thing because I have to believe that home teams win these games at better percentage than they normally do on Sunday games. Just because, again, short weeks, not a lot of time to rest. Give me the Cowboys, though, again, as a hot team to win this game. But, guys, 12.5 points. 12.5 points is a lot on the road on a Thursday night. The Titans cover the spread. Probably going to be a low-scoring game, but the Cowboys do win this game, putting the Titans in some trouble in the AFC South race. I think Cowboys defense can stop Derrick Henry, force Tannehill or whoever's passing the ball to beat them in the passing game, and they just can't do it. They just can't do it. And that's the problem. No A.J. Brown this year, no star wide receivers to throw the ball to, and you're seeing what happens to a one-dimensional team. And that's exactly what the Titans are, a one-dimensional team. You stop Derrick Henry, you stop him. And that's why I think the Cowboys win this game. But again, the Titans cover a 12.5-point spread. A full slate of games, because again, no more bye weeks, right? So a full slate of games. So we go with the Sunday game, starting with the 1 o'clock games. The Falcons are at home playing against the Arizona Cardinals. The Falcons 3.5-point favorites. The Falcons, the only team right now out of the NFC South race, right? The NFC South is so bad that they're the only team out of that race. The Cardinals, no Murray anymore. Who knows who's getting the ball? Is it going to be McCoy? Is it going to be that guy from Penn State who just played like trash last week? Who is going to get the ball? They still have some weapons, right? You still have D-Hop. You still have Brown there. But Connor as your running back. But can they get the job done? If you don't have a quarterback who can throw the ball and this team becomes one-dimensional, like we talked about with Tennessee for Thursday night, then how much can they really do? Falcons, on the other hand, at home, like I said, they're out of the race here in the NFC South. Not a whole lot to play for, just some pride. Neither of these teams have much to play for. Both of them out of the playoff picture. Give the Falcons to win at home. Give the Falcons to cover a 3.5-point spread. Going to Detroit with the Lions suffered a devastating loss last week to the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers, who we'll talk about later, controlling their own destiny in the NFC South. But you would thought that the Lions had figured something out. Finally, when you thought the Lions had figured something out, won 6 of the last 7, you thought this team was going to make a playoff push, and they can still make the playoffs. They can still make the playoffs if they win their next 2 matchups. Got a good shot getting in there, right? Against the Bears here and then against the Packers next week, but it does start with the Bears this week. Bears 6-point underdogs. Listen, I think Justin Fields is getting better. He didn't show much last week against the Buffalo Bills, but I think that Ryan Tack, best in the league, going against the Lions defense, who has proven vulnerable at times to the run. Perfect time to get the hiccups, by the way. The Lions win this game, but I expect the Bears to keep this one close. Again, maybe another low-scoring game here. The Bears try to limit possessions, and the Lions just need to be able to get on the board. You know, last week against the Panthers, they struggled on offense. The Panthers got off to a big lead, and by the time the Lions really got things going, it was too late. So the Lions need to get out early and score some points, make the Bears have to play from behind, and see how they do. Give me the Lions to win this game, but give me the Bears to cover a 6-point spread. Going to Kansas City. Currently the number 2 seed in the AFC, the Kansas City Chiefs, who have already clinched the AFC West, going up against an AFC West foe in the Denver Broncos, who made their last game closer than it looked at the start, right? The Chiefs got off to a 27-0 lead against the Denver Broncos, and the Broncos only lost by 6. Now in this game here, the Kansas City Chiefs at home, favored by 12.5. Now, is Russ Wilson going to play? We don't know, right? Russ Wilson played majority of that game last time against the Chiefs, but that's also the game where he went out. Will Russell Wilson play in this game? That's really the question that you have to ask, because I think that this Broncos offense really, either way, doesn't have much going for it, right? I think this Broncos team is frustrated with themselves. I think the defense is frustrated with the offense, and I think a lot of people on that offense, including Jerry Jeudy, who we saw last week, physically get frustrated with Russell Wilson. The Chiefs win this game. I don't think this game is close, and I think that we watch the Broncos implode a little bit more. Chiefs win this one. The Chiefs cover a 12.5-point spread. Going to 2 AFC East rivals of the Buffalo Bills, as the Patriots are at home playing against the Miami Dolphins. The Teddy Bridgewater-led Miami Dolphins, mind you, no Tua Tagovailoa, suffered another concussion last week. And guys, listen, this isn't division talk. This isn't football talk. You want what's best for Tua Tagovailoa at the moment, right? Like, what is best for Tua Tagovailoa? And after 3 concussions in one season, in a matter of 4 months, maybe what's best for him is to sit out, not just the season, but to figure out what he wants to do beyond football. Be an announcer, be a coach, do whatever it is that you want to do. But is football really what you are meant to do? Because this is starting to look like it's going to have long-term effects. And that's what's scary about that. And you hope I'm wrong. Obviously, I don't want to speculate anything, but 3 concussions in a matter of 6 months is no good for anybody. So obviously, we hope the best for Tua as he makes those tough decisions, those life decisions. But right now, the Dolphins are led by Teddy Bridgewater, who is more than capable backup. And when you look at the weapons that they have in Miami, Waddle, you look at Hill, you look at Chiseki, you look at some of those weapons, they could put points still, even with Teddy Bridgewater. You look at this Patriots defense. This defense is what keeps them going, right? It's all about what this defense can do. Mac Jones just is not the answer. Just is not the answer. We saw them try to come back in Cincinnati last week, a fumble late in that game when it looked like New England had a chance to upset the Cincinnati Bengals and just couldn't get the job done. I know the Patriots are at home. I think that they play better at Gillette Stadium, but I think the Dolphins have a lot more to play for here. Give me the Dolphins to win this game with Teddy Bridgewater. Give me the Dolphins to beat a 3-point spread. Going to East Rutherford, where the Giants, the G-Men, have some good playoff hopes of their own. If they win out, they're in the playoffs. Go up against the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts still reeling from 2 weeks ago. You have to believe they're still reeling from 2 weeks ago, giving up a 33-point lead to the Minnesota Vikings. The Giants come in 6-point favorites in this game. You know, as Bills fans, we know what Brian Dibble and the Giants have done this season. We've watched them with kind of a close eye. If you were a Buffalo Bills fan last year, you watched what Brian Dable can do as a head coach, and he's proven to be a player's coach, a coach that players will fight hard to play for. And so I think that's what the Giants have done. That's why the Giants find themselves in the position they're in. The Colts, Jeff Saturday, what can you do, right? What can you do? It looked like, again, the Colts might have something on Monday night or Sunday night, whenever it was. And they just didn't. It was Monday night, and they just didn't. Colts just not a well-rounded team at all. Jeff Saturday, you know, the hiring of Jeff Saturday has kind of lost its luster, and the Colts are playing like a really bad team. Giants have a lot to play for in this matchup, and that's why I'm going to take the Giants at home to win this one for a playoff spot. The Colts keep this one interesting, in my opinion. They do. But at the same time, they just don't have enough firepower, and I know that they're sticking with Nick Foles at quarterback. But I just don't think that's going to be good enough. The Giants win this game. The Colts cover a 6-point spread. Going at Philadelphia, where the Eagles are at home, 6-point favorites against the New Orleans Saints. Will Jalen Hurts play in this game? I don't know. It's not going to matter. This is the game where it's really not going to matter. They're not playing the Cowboys. They're playing the Saints. The Saints, who at 6-9 or whatever the record is, still have a chance in the NFC South. Who would have thought it? But they do. But that ends this week. That ends this week against the Eagles. The Eagles win this game. The Saints do keep it close, I think. The Saints cover a 6-point spread. The Saints try to get that running game going, try to keep the Eagles' dynamic offense off field. But at the end of the day, I think the Eagles get the win. Even with the backup quarterback, I don't think that matters. Give me the Eagles. Give me the Saints to cover a 6-point spread. Going to Tampa Bay. And to be honest, this is the matchup of the week. Hard to believe this is the matchup of the week, but until Monday night game, of course. But this is the matchup of the day. Matchup of the day because the Carolina Panthers come into Tampa again, controlling their own destiny. Tampa Bay loses this game. The Panthers then take control of the division, and Tom Brady's looking up, and we're not used to seeing that. The Buccaneers currently leading the NFC South, but not because they're good, because that division is lousy. And we might see that on display. We might see it on display, but let's be honest, this might be the game that decides the division. So that's why this is the game of the day. And we'll talk more about the Monday Night Football game, obviously, in a little bit. But this is the game that matters. Some people like the Panthers in this matchup. The Panthers have been playing better ball, right? The Panthers just beat the Lions last week. A lot of people were surprised by that. But I would be surprised if they go into Tampa and beat Tom Brady. This is not your brother's Tom Brady. This is not our Tom Brady that we know. It's not at all. This is not a Tampa Bay Bucks team that needs to be a threat to anybody in the playoffs. They won't be. But do they have enough to beat the Panthers? Absolutely they do. Absolutely they do. Tom Brady is still Tom Brady to some degree, you have to believe, and he's going to prove that on Sunday. Give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this game. Give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to cover a 3-point spread. Going to Washington, where the Commanders are 2-point favorites against the Cleveland Browns. Browns come in this matchup just continuing to find ways to lose games. Just finding ways to lose games. Losing to the Saints last week. Deshaun Watson just really still hasn't really found his rhythm yet. And I think it might take a little while for that to happen, maybe until next season. And that's what happens when you have 18 months of no football and 2 years basically without starting a game in the NFL. Give me the Commanders to win this game. Commanders still playing for that NFC playoff spot. I think Commanders are they were on a roll early this season. That loss to the Giants 2 weeks ago kind of made them take a step back. But I think they could find that role again. I think Wentz is starting again for the Commanders, so they'll come out and play hard for him, I think. And the Commanders will get the job done. Give me the Commanders to win this game. The Commanders to cover a 2-point spread. Another huge matchup in the AFC South, and huge for one team, maybe not so much the other. Jacksonville Jaguars, as I said earlier, controlling their own destiny in the AFC South amazingly, are on the road against the Houston Texans, a Texans team who knows a thing or two about upsets this year, or at least playing teams tight. Just 2 weeks ago, going to overtime against the Kansas City Chiefs. They might not have a winning record, not even close. They might be the worst team in the NFL, sure. But they play a lot of teams close. And will they keep that going in another AFC South battle? They beat the Titans last week. Will they beat the Jags this week? I think it's close. I do think it's close. However, I think that the Jacksonville Jaguars, just with their passing attack, have a little bit more than the Titans do. And I think the Texans are going to have a hard time with that. I like Trevor Lawrence. I like him a lot. Give me the Jags to win this game. But the Texans will, like I said, keep this one close. At home, give me them to cover a 4.5-point spread. Going to the 4 or 5 games, you got the 49ers going into Las Vegas to play the Raiders. And then you got the Jets going to Seattle to play the Seahawks. The Raiders 10-point underdogs in this matchup. And again, guys, you know how I feel about double-digit underdogs. I don't like it. I wish that the NFL would get rid of it. But truth be told, there are teams that are just that bad. And the Raiders might just be that bad. No Derek Carr this week. They have chosen to sit Derek Carr. But I think that's a good thing for the Raiders. I think that might be a little of inspiration for this Raiders offense to get something going. But do you really want that to be against the 49ers defense? Do you want that to be your backup quarterback's first start this season? I don't like it. Obviously, the Raiders are signaling them moving on from Derek Carr at the end of the season. But I don't think the Raiders' problems are Derek Carr. I really don't. I think it goes beyond that. But it doesn't matter. The 49ers are just that good. The 49ers are on a roll. They're 1-8 in a row. It doesn't matter who's at quarterback. It doesn't matter if it's Garoppolo or Purdy or me or you. It doesn't matter. The 49ers are winning games. And they'll win it by defense. They'll win it with McCaffrey. They'll win it with whatever it takes. But they're winning games. 8 in a row, that's impressive, and they're going to make it 9. The 49ers win this game. Again, though, on the road, double digits. Not sure if I like that. Give me the 49ers to win this game, but give me the Raiders to cover that 10-point spread. Going to Seattle, like I said, Seattle 1.5-point underdogs against a really good Jets team. The Jets team is good. They're not great. They're not a playoff team, but they're really good. The Seattle team started off really hot. Geno Smith playing well. You had good wide receivers. You got a good running back over there. The defense is playing so-so. But they've really just hit a cold streak. But what's something that can help with a cold streak? That 12th man. And very few teams have as good or better of a 12th man than the Seattle Seahawks do. Whatever you say about the Seahawks, whatever you say about their fan base, they show up. They show up. In Seattle, they love their team. Good for them. I like the Seahawks in an upset in this matchup. Geno Smith gets a little bit rhythm going again. The Jets, listen, Sauce Gardner, defensive rookie of the year. I think no doubt about it, in my opinion. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. But I think the Seahawks figure it out. I think the Seahawks run attack and get the job done. Seahawks win this game. Seahawks beat a 1.5-point spread at home. Speaking of underdogs, speaking of big matchups, 425, the NFC North Packers at home in Lambeau Field, going against the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings 3-point underdogs in this matchup. Listen, what we've learned about the Vikings so far this year, they win one possession games. 11-0 in one possession games. That's unheard of. 11-0 in one possession games this season. That's insane. Will they keep that going? Because this here is going to be a one-possession game. This is going to be a one-possession game. The Packers are playing a lot better. Packers are playing for a playoff spot. The Packers have a matchup against the Lions in 2 weeks where if they win this matchup, it's all or nothing. And I think that it's not going to matter for the Packers. You have all this hype leading up to the Packers and Lions game being meaningful and meaning something here in Week 18. And I just don't see it. I don't think it's going to happen for at least one side. I think it's going to be the Packers. This is this Vikings team. You may think they're frauds. You may think whatever you want to think about them, but they're finding ways to get the job done. And they might lose in the first round of playoffs. I'm not saying they won't. They might. But as of right now, they're sitting at the number 2 seed in the NFC. And I think they want to keep it. I don't think they want to fall to 3. But I think that they could win from the 2 or 3 spot. That's personally what I think. I don't find it hard to see them winning in wild card weekend. I don't. I think this is a good team. I think they have 3 losses. I think they're a good team. The Vikings win this game at Lambeau Field. They won against the Packers in week 1. People still don't believe in them. They're winning against the Packers in week 17 in Lambeau. Giving the Vikings to win this game and the Vikings to beat that 3-point spread. Going to LA, where it's a battle of LA for the Rams and the Chargers. The Chargers obviously still sitting in that number 6 seed in the AFC playoffs. The Rams, Super Bowl champs from a year ago, not going to be able to defend their crown in the playoffs. Just haven't been able to get the job done. Whether you want to blame injuries, whether you want to blame inefficiencies, whatever you want to blame, they haven't been able to get the job done. The Chargers 6.5-point favorites in this game. After that win on Monday night against the Colts, I think this Chargers team, when they're healthy, really impressive. As a Bills fan, that's the team I don't want to see in the first round of the playoffs. That's the team I don't want to see. And the fear is if the Bills lose to Cincinnati on Monday Night Football, we fall to the 3 seed, which would put us right in line to play the Chargers in the first round. Scares me half to death. Don't want to do it. Don't want to see them. But they're going to win this game. They're going to win the game against the Rams. They're going to beat the Rams in LA. It's going to be a fun LA versus LA themed. I think there might be more Rams fans than Chargers fans there. Everyone's going to make a big deal about it, but it doesn't matter. The Chargers are just a better team. Chargers are just a better team, and they're the better team by at least a touchdown. By at least a touchdown. This game isn't going to be close. This game, Battle of LA, this one's going to go to the Chargers. The Chargers win this game, giving the Chargers to cover a 6.5-point spread. Going to Baltimore, where something very, 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 very impressive, a record has a chance to be broken on Sunday Night Football between 2 teams who hate each other. And if someone's going to break this record, of course it would be the Ravens. Of course, I'm talking about Mike Tomlin's record of 20 consecutive seasons without a losing record. He has been an NFL coach for over 20 years, and he has yet to have a losing season. But their team sits at 8 losses right now with 2 weeks left to go. So another loss, and that record falls. We've heard the Pittsburgh Steelers players talk about how important this record is to them. The Pittsburgh Steelers themselves still have a shot at the playoffs. They can still sneak in there. And it's not all that unfathomable. It really isn't. The Ravens, on the other hand, still trying to keep up with the Cincinnati Bengals. They know that the Bengals have a tough game on Monday. They know. They know that if they win this matchup, that they still put some pressure on the Bengals. We all know about these 2 teams. The rivalry. This is going to be a fun matchup. Not because of an offensive juggernaut playing an offensive juggernaut. This game is not going to be 38-35. This is going to be nothing like that. This game's going to be 13-12, and it's going to be a game-winning field goal. Just look, the Ravens and Steelers, out of the last 15 matchups, 12 of them have ended by less than 3 points or less. That's how close these 2 teams are every single year. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. These 2 teams hate each other. There's bad blood there. I like this matchup every single time it's on. Because it's going to be physical football. It's going to be just grind it out, run the ball, try to win possessions. Field position is going to matter. Every mistake is going to be mean even more. It's going to be so much fun to watch this matchup, especially getting ready for that Monday night one, as the Steelers play the Ravens on New Year's Day. And all these Sunday games, by the way, are on New Year's Day. So I hope you all have a safe and happy New Year's. I like the Steelers in this matchup, and I'll tell you why. Because I like their running game more. I like the running game more. And I'm not just talking about Harris, right? We all know about him. We're talking about the backfield in general for the Steelers is just better. You got three-headed monster back there at times. It's really impressive what the Steelers have done on the running attack. Najee, obviously not having the type of season that fantasy owners would want him to have. And by the way, this might be championship week in your fantasy team, so best of luck to you. It's championship week in my fantasy, and I'm in it, so I'm excited. And I have Najee Harris, but I might be benching him. But I do like the Steelers run attack better than the Ravens. Give me the Steelers to win this game. The Steelers beat that 2.5-point spread on the road. Then we go to Monday night. Monday Night Football, a lot on the line here. A lot on the line here. With a win, the Bills stay with the number one seed with one more week to go. With a loss, they go down to a 3 seed. The Bengals go up to 2, and the Chiefs take that number 1 spot back for the AFC playoffs. And you know, the Chiefs have had lots of bye weeks going into Wild Card Weekend. Lots of bye weeks over the past few years. I would love to keep them down. Keep them down. Make them have to win on Wild Card Weekend. I'm not saying they can't. They probably will. But make them play that extra game. The Bengals come in this with a 7-game winning streak. The Bills come into this with a 6-game winning streak. These two teams, both of them playing well at the right time. Who's going to play better? The Bills, 1-point favorites in this one right now. The Bills come into this game after winning the AFC East. They know what's on the line. The Bengals almost gave up that game against New England. I think right now, if you look at each team, as far as which way they're headed, I think the Bills are slightly going in an upwards direction. At least a better slanted upwards direction than the Bengals. I think that the Bills, listen, and you can say we want Josh Allen not playing his best. You're right. Josh Allen did not play his best. In fact, he played pretty bad last week, and the Bills put up 35 points and won that game 35-13. That's how impressive this team is. This team has put up offensive points with their quarterback playing at a B- level. What happens when Josh Allen finds that A level again? What happens when Josh Allen hits that other gear again? Remember what he did last year in the playoffs? Remember last year in the playoffs how good Josh Allen was? I expect to see that Josh Allen again, and I expect to see him starting this week. This week, I expect to see Josh Allen play flawless football. And so I expect the Buffalo Bills to win this game in Cincy and maybe win this game by more than what the experts might think. Right now, it's a 1-point spread. If you move this line for me to 5.5, I would still take the Bills to cover this game. Give me the Buffalo Bills to win straight up, and give me the Buffalo Bills to cover that 1-point spread. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I think it's going to be a fun week of football. Again, only 2 weeks left. Still plenty up in the air to be decided. Whether you talk about seeding, whether you talk about divisions, whether you talk about wild card, whatever you are talking about, it's going to be a fun weekend. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to have a great time. I'm going to enjoy my Sunday knowing the Bills don't play. I'll probably watch the Panthers-Buccaneers 1 o'clock game. Flip between a couple. That Panthers-Bucks, maybe the Dolphins-Patriots 1 o'clock games just for fun. And then the 4 o'clock games, the 4:25 Vikings-Packers on Sunday night. It's going to be a fun day of football, but we're all going to be anxious for Monday, right? We're all going to be anxious for Monday. Let me know who you have winning these games in the comment section. Let me know your score prediction for Bills-Bengals on Monday night. It's going to be a fun one. I hope you guys join me on Monday night for my live stream of the game between the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals. That's going to be a fun time. Hopefully, we can celebrate some good times. I'm going to celebrate some good times. I'm going to enjoy some football. I'm going to talk to you all soon. Have a great new year. I'm going to see you soon. Until I do, Go Bills.
Hello, fellow Bills fans. Sean Rogers, Realtor and lead of the Mr. Rogers Homes team. Did you know that real estate is one of the best ways to build wealth? And right now is one of the best times to own an investment property in Arizona? Please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions so we can take the next step to your financial freedom here in the Valley of the Sun, utilizing real estate. As always, God bless America and go Buffalo!